are live, and today we've got a special edition to, what's the name of this program, by the way?
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A, okay. So we're going to try to fit in a topic that I don't know how we're going to get this to family law and stuff, but you and I, Anthony, are going to work on this, man. I've got some ideas, okay? But we would be remiss if we didn't have this podcast today, because today might be the most historical event of the year, possibly the decade, or maybe even the century so far, right? We've got the last game. By the way, I didn't introduce it. Loxi, you're with us, and so we'll make some formal introductions in a second here. But we have the last game of the series between San Francisco and the Dodgers, the two most winning teams in Major League Baseball. It's been a great series, and tonight it's all the marbles, right?
Yep, win or go home.
Okay.
109 games apiece.
Mm-hmm.
Is it That's right, it is.
109 each. Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about why we've asked the two of you to be in this room today is because we've got two of our many Dodger fans here. Loxi's probably the biggest Dodger fan of all. You've been a Dodger fan for many years, and I can't think of another person who's got their house decorated in Dodger stuff, your office. I mean, look at you, even have a scarf, right?
I do. I have the watch. I have the earrings.
Right. You and I have attended many games together.
We have.
I could attest to you being a true blue Dodger fan.
Thank you.
Okay. And, of course, Anthony, I was very happy to find out when you came onto the firm that you were a hardcore Dodger fan and you're going to the games about as much as I do.
Secretly. So. I've been a secret Dodger fan up until very recently.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are you keeping the secret from?
Probably my dad, who's a Padres fan. So.
Ooh.
Yeah, he grew up in San Diego, so I became a Dodger fan around 95. The first game I went to, the main one game that I remember was the one when Tommy Lasorda got booted, and we all threw our souvenir baseballs onto the field, and we ended up forfeiting. So ever since then, I've been a Dodgers fan through and through.
Well, I'm probably the newest Dodger fan in the firm, and I'm hardcore. I mean, everybody knows that about me, right? But I became a real Dodger fan when I came to Pasadena and started this practice. I started meeting a lot of my friends in the bar association, and they're all Dodger fans, so I just started going to the games with them, and now it's like, man, this is what I love to do.
Right.
So today we want to talk about, the fact that we're all going to be glued to the television.
Yep.
And win, lose, or draw, in my opinion, I think that this is just going to be great. I mean, it's great entertainment. And I'm the guy that will tell you that I don't believe in rooting for second place.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And I'd Loxi, man, it's win or nothing, man. if they don't win, you are going to be in my office tomorrow screaming, that they were robbed and all this other stuff.
Of course I will.
Loxi's had a slight crisis the entire day going on.
Yeah.
This is right now, too.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. And they play up there. That's bad.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. They're playing up there, right, with those mean fans from San Francisco, right? Okay. And on top of that, we had a switch of pitchers. Now, what was that all about? And Anthony, I know you've got to know the story behind this.
Okay, so when the Giants posted their pitching lineup, they were obviously trying to go with the platoon advantage against Urias, who was the pitcher that we were all expecting to start. He's been fresh. He's really good under pressure, ice water going through his veins. But when they announced the pitching order, they put Canibal first and Urias as the reliever. Now, people are wondering, okay, is Dave Roberts trying to overmanage the game? Is he trying to play 4D chess? Is he trying to do something clever here? But really, it makes sense. Canibal's a left-handed pitcher. Left-handed pitchers are better against left-handed batters, and they're just trying to eliminate the advantage that those left-handed batters have against Urias.
I don't know, though, though. I mean, that pitcher from San Francisco, what's his last name?
Webb.
Okay,
Logan
now
Webb.
he is scary. You talk about ice in the veins, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't like him.
He seems like he's from a different planet. Okay.
Webb gives Loxi nightmares.
I don't like I don't like him.
Of course. But, I mean, if he pitches anything like he did that first game, we're in trouble.
Man. The story of the series hasn't been the issues with the pitching, but it's with the batting. The Dodgers just can't consistently hit.
Yeah.
They'll light it up on games 2 and 4, but then 1 and 3 they'll get goose eggs the entire night.
And then we have the wind.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they had that wind going on in Game 3.
Gavin Lux was robbed.
You know what my coach used to say? That excuses. They're like
the ball dropped. Okay.
It was about 3 foot short of the wall. I mean, that would have tied up the game, I think.
Okay. Well, anyways, this is historical. You know, this is really the World Series in a lot of people's minds. We have the two most winning teams. Both of them, man, have record number of victories. You know, I mean, we tied our record, I think, this year, and San Francisco's got their record. On top of that, is the first time they've played together or against each other in the playoffs.
Right.
You know, and I think the story behind the story for me is that you have two very established ball teams. This isn't like, you know, this is a surprise. I mean, San Francisco won the championship 3 times within the past decade.
Right.
The Dodgers have been a force now for, 8-9 years now.
We should have 2, I think.
We really
as of
should.
Right now. Yeah, we should have 2.
Yeah, and the players are getting a little bit older, you know, and we don't know what it's going to look like next year.
Right.
You know, now, of course, I hope that somehow they do it again, but no team keeps going forever. Eventually, they decline, right?
Right.
So, Loxi, this might be the last time that you and I get to watch our team in the playoffs. I mean, given our, you know, stages of life.
Where is that Schweitzer?
Oh, I don't believe
Where
that.
is that glass? It's always half full
I don't
there.
believe that. We'll see you in the postseason next year.
Yes. I'm not going anywhere.
I say this so many times, and I hate to say this, but I'm from Chicago, okay? And I went almost, you know, all my childhood, and there was never, ever a team in the playoffs, okay? I mean, well, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but we just waited and waited and waited and waited. And I remember even coming here, and the Dodgers, before they got hot, I mean, there was all the way.
It was a slump.
In 1988 up until, you know, so it could happen, okay?
But it won't.
You know what? Mookie is still probably at the height of his career. We have him for another 8 years on his contract. I'm hopeful. I'm looking at the bright side of things, but at the same time, the Giants have not lost a win or go home at home since 1962 in the postseason.
Uh-oh.
So
that's all right.
You talk about the cards being stacked. It's going to be a real exciting one tonight, and it's really going to change the storyline for both of these two franchises. I think no matter how it turns out.
Okay, so this is how I thought we could tie this to the family law, okay? Because we got to do this, otherwise Uncle Sam's going to say we're just having fun here, right? I mean, I've got to make this a business expense, right? Okay, who gets the season tickets for next year in a divorce? Okay, they're already purchased, right? They're the great seats, you know, behind home plate,
right?
Okay, thousands of dollars,
right?
You know, maybe $60,000 worth of season tickets. There's a divorce. Hubby and wife are fighting over those season tickets. Who gets them?
All right. So in family law, we love to apply creative solutions to complicated problems, right? You have 2 diehard family, Dodger fans in the family. They both want the full season tickets. I would probably say you look at who spent the money, where'd the money come from.
It's community.
Deposit.
It's community.
If it's community, pick out half of the games and try to work out the ones that are in disagreement and split them. If you're not able to come to some sort of agreement.
Okay, so I'll stipulate it. You got 40 games.
Sure.
Okay, 20 to ex-husband, 20 to ex-wife.
Right. I'll take the Astros.
No, I was going to say no.
I'll take the Astros. I'll take the Giants. I'll take the Padres.
Okay.
You can have the Oakland A's.
I guess the winner is the biggest fan who really knows what they're looking at, right?
Right.
Stuff,
yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, I went a couple of days ago to the park and watched it during the windy game that you were referring to. I could tell you that the stadium is packed. I've never seen Dodger fans as excited as they are this year. When I first became a Dodger fan, I was a little bit disappointed in my fellow fans because, you know, they're always known to show up during the 4th inning and leave by the 8th inning, and you didn't hear the crowd screaming as much as other stadiums. The stadium wasn't really full when I first started watching. That's not Dodgers today. Dodgers, man, I mean, we've got some really cool fans out there and stuff. And, you know, the whole town's become a sports town, and the Dodgers are a big part of that.
Right.
Now, you, on the other hand, have been a hardcore fan thick and through.
Decades and decades.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Don Drysdale taught me how to swim when I was 9 years old.
That probably helps.
Okay. Was that when you became the Dodger fan?
Probably.
Come on.
You know, before that, I'd go to games with my dad.
That's what I thought. So your dad was a baseball fan. Mm-hmm. That's how most of our parents were back then and stuff. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, and Loxi probably does, but I don't know if you know this, Anthony, but about 20 years ago, people were thinking that baseball is going to die in this country.
I remember reading that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because football took over and all this stuff. I don't know if if that's the feeling anymore, but it seems to me across America that the ballparks, man, are full, and there's still lots of, energy and stuff like that. So hopefully never, because I love baseball,
I
man.
do too. Yeah, there was a slump. I feel that it came out of that. More people are into it again.
They speeded up the pace of the game. They
That
changed
helped.
some of the rules.
That helped.
They put a clock on the pitches. It's really kind of helped to make it much more exciting now. You get more runs, more home runs too. All the changes that they made really have kind of made it a lot more exciting.
Yeah, home runs. I don't know about that. Well, you know what? For a true baseball fan, I mean,
Right.
for the casual baseball fan, it's fun to be in the park. Oh, they hit it around the park again 8 times, But that brings up the juicing the ball type of thing, and stuff. And I enjoy the pitchers fight. Like we've seen, the one that I saw where we lost, 0-4 or whatever it was. That was really a pitching tool on that one. And,
It was.
and you're at the edge of your seat all the way up to the 9th inning, and then or the walk-off home run that we saw Taylor making
right.
stuff. Those are baseball
In the
games to
wildcard
me.
game, yeah.
When you see these guys just bounce this ball, out of the park like that, then it becomes kind of like watching a pinball machine,
But speeding up the game, I think, helped the momentum of the sport a lot because people that were casual fans that I would talk to, because I've got the swag all over, and it's just it's like a half hour between pitches, and so that was a lot of it. Anthony was referring to is that it sped it up.
Okay, so you watched many World Series teams. I mean, really, you saw the teams in the 70s, right? The 80s. Well, there's only one, or there's 2 in the 80s, I think, right?
The Yankees, probably.
You mean Dodgers?
Dodgers. I'm talking about Dodgers.
81 and 88.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you've seen our guys now. So, what's your favorite team?
Oh boy. It was so exciting when you had Ron Say, Steve Garvey, those guys that I don't know, probably then. Probably.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't have to have excuses because we know that you still love them.
I do love them. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So we go into the park with Loxi. She always makes her stop talking to LAPD. LAPD standing around their uniforms. I just want to thank you for all your great work and stuff. Then she moves on.
With their Adam 12 hats on.
Right.
Now, not a lot of people won't know what that means, but we know what that means.
Yeah. On the way out, you also thank them.
I do thank them.
And when I'm probably not watching, you're probably out there thanking them.
Well, sometimes.
I'll tell you what, I'm thanking them when they're clearing the traffic out of the way so we can get to the stadium from Union.
That's when you're thinking.
I'm sorry, cops get it. I like cops. I like them.
Yeah.
Well, when I was at the game the other day, they're doing the pregame hype, right? And they get on these big screens and they start showing the rivalry between the Giants and the Dodgers. Okay, that's good. I mean, all the way back until the 1950s, and they've got black and white footage and everything. But they were showing one fight after another between these teams, right? And apparently, these teams have gone at it for decades, where they're clearing the bench and they're showing that on the screen. And I'm thinking, this isn't the time and place to do that because we've had some problems in our park before, right?
But it's kind of like you have to tell that story, though. I mean, to not acknowledge the rivalry between these two teams is sort of like missing a big part of why these games matter so much. I mean, if it was like, I don't know, for example, the A's or the Padres, I mean, obviously they hate each other, but not to the same extent as the Giants.
Well, didn't some guy end up on the field when we won on, what was that, Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, that was that game.
Yeah.
Well, last night, or
the last game there was one too.
It's like, dude, either don't drink some, get off the field.
Well, we were at a local sports bar watching that game, and I think I left the bar at about the 8th inning, and I'm like, they better not lose this now because they were ahead like 4 or 5 points. But when I was driving back, they were describing what happened. The guy jumped over the wall, and they went and tackled him and stuff. And man, those announcers just like berated that guy, man.
Oh yeah, it was. I was in the kitchen, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, they definitely didn't show that on the TV either.
Oh, they
don't want to give the guy any attention.
Yeah.
But they were saying that they weren't being exactly gentle with the guy, pretty much. So.
Yeah. Like, who does this?
I want to say, I think the biggest difference between last year and this year is probably our closers, and especially Jansen. Jansen's been playing
amazingly. Thank God, I love him.
Remember when Jansen got to the mound in that 7th or 8th inning, and you were just like, oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah, he's back.
So you're bringing up another point that I wanted to talk about, and that is the resilience of our Dodgers. Now,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, there's going to be people out there like my brother-in-law and my brother who are one's a White Sox fan, the other one's a Cub fan. It's like, well, you're like the Yankees now because you're just paying for these players. And of course, my response is, yeah, but we like to win.
Yep.
Right.
So,
Right.
but what happens when you have a Kershaw and he's knocked out before the season, and you've got Muncy, and
Injured,
you've got
yeah.
some people with some legal problems, and before you know it, man, I mean, it's not the same powerhouse team and stuff, but somehow they are stacked, and I think it's amazing that they keep playing like a team, you know,
Right.
because you've got this almost, we've been there before,
Right.
we're superstars and everything, but towards the end of the season, they came together and they started playing like they are right now, and they're on fire right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's just amazing to me. That they bond like they do, and I attribute it to Coach Roberts. I think
Absolutely.
Oh,
it's
he's
fantastic.
amazing. I mean, look at Scherzer just comes in and he's already getting drunk and
Yeah.
taking his shirt off and
I read
having a good old
Wait,
time.
Loxi, is that like a good thing for you?
Well, not necessarily, but it was good entertainment. What was that supposed to mean, Mr. Scherzer?
You brought that up for crying out loud.
Well, I mean, no, he just like bonded. He's, Kershaw.
Yeah.
There's no like animosity or jealousy. It seems like
No,
they.
he fit right in.
Exactly.
And he's excited for the team and stuff. And
Yeah.
they're playing for all the marbles. And they're what I love about baseball is the traditions pass from Major League Baseball down to the little tiny peewee and stuff. And so
Yeah.
at the end of the game, they're jumping up and down on their top, and stuff. And I think it's genuine. I don't think they're just playing for the camera,
Oh,
right?
no.
I mean,
No.
No,
You know,
absolutely
so-
not.
Not at all.
Yeah. Scherzer, he's available tonight. I know he's just sort of pitched, but
Yeah.
I said, if he really wanted to pitch tonight, I don't even think Dave Roberts or anybody else could stop him. He'd probably just go
No,
out there.
They
and
want him
demand the
to
ball.
start on Saturday if they win tonight. I think.
Oh, yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be great. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be fun if they continue on. So
Yeah.
let's talk about second place. Okay, I think that we had a firm meal here right after the Olympics, and I was really appalled this year by watching the Olympics that people are celebrating that they got the bronze or they got the silver. Now, back in the old days, man, if it wasn't gold, man, it wasn't anything, right? We don't celebrate second place.
Of course not.
That's because we're in America.
Right.
Right? We
But
only
but
celebrate
I'm
first.
going to say this though. This season's been so entertaining that even if our Dodgers don't make it, man, I love them. I love this season, man. And stuff. I mean, Loxi, come on. You know I'm going to be pulling for them, but
Okay.
you have to admit, I mean, this has been great entertainment.
It's been good, especially since last year when there was no fans and.
Yeah, to me that pales in comparison, entertainment-wise, to what we're watching today.
Right.
I mean,
It's almost like we got robbed of the fanfare last year.
yeah.
We did.
You know,
Yeah.
we didn't get a parade. We didn't get the hoopla. The cheering. They were in some off-the-wall stadium.
Yeah.
Where, it
They've
was
kind of
just-
gotten cheated out twice because once was from the Astros. The
You
second
bring,
time
you bring
was,
Yeah,
that up
but
a
that's-
second time
was
now,
because
man.
of the.
No,
You're
we
still
were-
seething over
I'm
that.
still angry.
We
I'm
were all
still
talking.
angry.
Why do they still have their chance? Okay, I'm not. I'm sorry. It's not fair.
You know what? You should have been the commissioner of baseball.
I should have.
Yeah.
You betcha been the
Oh yeah.
commissioner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Is the statute of limitations?
Well, I'll tell you what, those guys are paying for it, though, because every time they step foot, I don't care if they've been transferred to another team or not, they step foot into the Dodgers Stadium.
Oh, yeah,
and all
they're
of a sudden I think,
toast.
oh, my God.
It feels like Game 7 of the World Series
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like this is basically
Yeah.
the.
That's
the
why I
series.
want him to move
Or
on.
the Super
too.
Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it
Yeah.
feels like. And that's
Yeah.
why I wanted to do this, because I hope that people that don't watch baseball normally will be tuning into this game.
Right.
Because this will make you a fan today.
And it's great. It's a
Yeah.
division game, but I mean, look, the rivalry is just so intense.
It's
Yeah.
amazing to me that they have never played each other in this division series.
2,000
before. It's
times,
crazy.
over 2,000 times
Yeah,
they've seen each other.
that is insane.
Not once in the postseason.
Or the next team that they would play would be Atlanta, I think, right?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm,
Well, that's
just-
that's
I'm looking ahead.
Yeah. We're looking at the World Series, right?
Yeah. But these guys might be burned out by the time. I mean, they're going against their arch rivals like this.
And they have to remove all trash cans from anywhere near the dugout. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay. Well, so where are you watching it today?
I'm going to be watching it from home.
Okay. I know you.
Home.
Home.
She's going to be not only the home, but the Dodgers
Mm-hmm.
Museum. She'll be straight from the.
Vin Scully Avenue.
That's right.
Loxi Ravine.
Loxi Ravine.
So I'm probably going to be watching it from home too with my dogs, but I'm tempted to go over to the sports bar, but I probably won't. It's not like me.
No.
So, anyways, this has been fun.
It was fun.
And-
Thanks.
And
Yeah.
let's try to do this again if we. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do.
Not if,
If
when.
well, I love that positive attitude,
There you
but
go.
but you got to answer to that later on. People will be calling into to the office and going, I want to talk to Loxi. So assuming that we win and we go on to the next one, we're going to have another one.
Okay.
And we get to the World Series, we're going to have another one. Okay. And we're going to milk this thing. Okay.
Milk it.
Okay. You're on.
Thanks, Don.
Go
Thank you.
Dodgers.
Okay.
Go Dodgers.